We don't just build wealth, we build legacy. Welcome to the Retirement Income for Life show with Doug Vincent. For over 30 years, Doug has helped families right here in the DC area turn hard work into lasting income, helping you protect what you've earned, provide for your family, and retire on your terms. This is where preparation meets opportunity. This is the Retirement Income for Life show. Here's Doug Vincent.
Annuities without the hype. A clear, practical look at guaranteed income, retirement planning, and the role annuities can play. Shout out to everybody in the DMV area. This is Doug Vincent, and on behalf of the month of June, June is Annuity Awareness Month, and it's making it the perfect time to learn how annuities may help create reliable income and give you greater confidence in retirement. So we're going to explore options, see whether annuities fit, in your retirement strategies. And as always, we are here to help you. And, we've been saying, and we say this over and over, schedule a 100% complimentary consultation with us today. For our listeners here in the DMV area, you can visit our offices right in Greenbelt, Maryland. For anyone, you can look at our website at retirementincomethenumber4life.com. And always, you can reach us by phone, 301-242-3950, as well as our YouTube channel, your Retirement Income for Life there. Different ways that you can communicate with us and different ways we can help you. We also have a free download. It's called the Retirement Income for Life Survival Kit. You can get that once again right at our website, retirementincomeforlife.com. So for today's show, let me give you an overview. Once again, it's June, and this is Annuity Awareness Month. So we're going to spend the entire time digging into this subject, what annuities actually are and what they are not. So we're going to explain what they are, how they're designed to, we want to clear up some of the misconceptions that are surrounding them. And then also we want to talk about creating your own pension in retirement, creating your own pension. Traditional pensions are far less common today as they have been in the past. And so we're going to discuss how guaranteed income can help create more stability in retirement. We'll talk about some of the questions you should ask before buying any annuity. Okay, we're going to review the important questions you should ask. This is a long-term decision, so there are definitely some questions you need to answer before buying an annuity. And then finally, we'll wrap up with a market update of why guaranteed income, today's age, 2026, why guaranteed income is back in the conversation. We'll wrap up with that, and we'll discuss why retirement income strategies are getting more and more attention in today's economy. And we will make sure that we wrap up with that. All right, here's some financial wisdom. Our quote for the week comes from Mr. Jim Rohn. You have two choices. You can make a living or you can design a life. Jim Rohn says you have two choices. You can make a living or you can design a life. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jim. And this is what we're doing every day. We want to help people design their retirement income for life plan. Each and every day, this is what we're doing to help people. So, as I said, National Annuity Awareness Month here in June. Let's give you an introduction into annuities. And, we're going to take that time today. This is an important retirement topic. It continues to generate a lot of questions for families across the country, annuities, guaranteed retirement income, things like that. And for some people, annuities can help create predictable income and provide them peace of mind in retirement. For others, it might not be a good fit, for your goals at all. Okay, so please don't hear me saying everybody should have an annuity, but some people should. Some people really need to consider this for their own peace of mind, their own risk tolerance, the way that they are approaching retirement. And the challenge is that many Americans hear all this conflicting information, all this complicated terminology, okay, high pressure sales messages. This makes it very difficult, to weed through, all the hype. So today we're going to break down what annuities actually are, the different types of annuities and how they work, the role they may play with a broader retirement strategy that you have. We're going to talk about some of the biggest myths surrounding annuities and questions every consumer should ask before making any long-term financial decision, because retirement planning works best when decisions are made through education, through clarity, and through long-term planning and goals, not fear, and especially not confusion. So what annuities actually are and what they're not. Okay, so retirement today is going to look very different than it did in previous generations. With traditional pensions becoming increasingly rare, more Americans are looking for ways to create reliable income that can last for decades, right? As a result, annuities have become a big part of people's retirement planning conversations, especially those that want greater stability, predictability, peace of mind in retirement. Okay. And at their core, annuities are designed to help turn savings into future income, help retirees feel more confident about the years that are ahead. Yahoo Finance on YouTube has a great video entitled, "What is an Annuity and How Do They Work?" It's about 4 minutes. They broke this thing down very well. And so I want to encourage you to look on YouTube, type in "what is an annuity and how do they work?" A good video presentation. Okay, so how are annuities designed and what are they designed to do? Let's go over a few bullet points with that. So many annuities are designed, we've been saying this, but listen, to help create predictable retirement income. It's a predictable retirement income that would come in just like Social Security, just like if you had a pension. We're creating a pension, creating predictable retirement income. Now, certain annuities can help you address longevity risk, the risk of outliving retirement savings. So many people have a big 401k, but don't understand how to distribute it, don't understand how to move it around to possibly in a place that would guarantee income no matter what the market did and no matter how long you lived, right? So taking longevity risk off the table, an annuity a lot of times can be used to accomplish that. Also, some annuities offer protection against market losses while still allowing limited growth opportunities. So no chance of losing principal, okay, while still receiving some of the upside from the gains. Okay, so now what annuities are not? Okay, annuities are not all the same. Okay, you have fixed annuities, you have indexed annuities, you have variable annuities. They work very differently from one another, right? They're not designed to replace emergency savings or your short-term cash needs. Many contracts involve surrender periods. These are long-term commitments. So you don't want all your eggs in one basket, but you may need an annuity basket. That's the point here. All right, guarantees and protections often involve trade-offs involving growth potential, liquidity, or the access to principal. Okay, so these are some things that you need to understand. You need to understand the trade-offs and that annuities are, watch this, an income planning tool. An annuity is an income planning tool, not an investment shortcut. Okay, designed for stability in retirement and not to generate unlimited market returns. Okay, this is why a lot of people are confused and conflicted, thinking that returns are being taken away from me if I have my money in an annuity. No, this is an income planning tool, not a market return tool. So two different things, two different understandings. Take some of these myths out of your system, because they can be properly applied to the right situation and really help people have peace of mind. Here's some numbers. So 4 million, that's the approximate number of Americans reaching age 65 each year. Okay. Each year, 4 million Americans are reaching the age of 65, the golden age of retirement in times past. And even today, a lot of people are retiring at 65. Okay. Now, 40%, approximate percentage this is an approximate percentage of pre-retirement income Social Security was designed to replace. Okay. The average worker, only 40% is going to come from what you made while you were working. So for instance, just using simple math, if you're used to $100,000 a year, okay, you should on average only expect $40,000 from Social Security. Okay, so now we got a $60,000 gap to make up. Okay, is it coming from a pension? Is it coming from an annuity? Is it coming from your 401k that you've designed hopefully to distribute for life? What is your retirement income for life plan surrounding Social Security only providing a fourth of the income that you're used to? Okay, 450 billion. Keep that number in mind. In 2026, annuity sales are gonna be above 450 billion, right? In sales. It's one of the strongest retirement income markets in industry history. More people are buying annuities today than they did in the past. Okay, because if explained right, once again, it's an income tool that can help you make sure you don't outlive your money. It's a supplemental piece to Social Security and other planning that you have in place. So before considering any annuity product, start by identifying the problems that you are trying to solve, right? Some retirees prioritize guaranteed income. So think about it. If your priority is guaranteed income, okay, that's something you need to consider related to guaranteed income for life with an annuity. Now, your focus might be growth. You might be 65, 60, 70, and, you want growth and flexibility. Or, matter of fact, I don't even want to touch this money. I want to just leave it to my kids or my grandkids. What is your goal for why you like annuities, don't like annuities? Do you understand why this can be a tool that is useful or why it's something that you shouldn't have in your diversified retirement income for life plan? All right. So you have fixed annuities, you have indexed annuities, and then you have variable annuities. Okay, 3 different types, right? And understanding the trade-offs behind these different types of annuities is very important. One reason annuities can feel confusing is that the term annuity describes a category of products, not a single product. Okay, different annuities are designed for different goals, right? Different goals, different annuities. Okay, some focus on principal protection. Some focus on principal protection and guaranteed income. Okay, some focus on prioritizing growth and market participation. You've got to understand the basic differences, and this is going to help you, make a more informed retirement income planning decision. And then you want to avoid comparing products that weren't designed very well, that weren't done the right way, to accomplish the goal that you think that you might have. So some real quick highlights on fixed annuities. They provide a declared interest rate for a specific period. They protect principal from market losses, and they often appeal to those conservative savers seeking stability and predictable growth. I don't want to lose a dime, but I want to make sure that check comes in for the rest of my life. All right, so a fixed index annuity. Let's talk about the variables with this annuity. So it's linked to growth potential. It's linked to the index, to the performance of a market index, such as the S&P 500, right? In general, it's still a protection of principal, from any market downturns. But now the growth is now going to be subject to normally participation rates, caps, or spreads to offer you the insurance of you not losing principal. You share some of the gains with the company that you have been working with while protecting yourself still against the losses. So you share in the gains. You don't have any losses if the principal protection guarantee was in that contract. All right, now you got variable annuities, right? This allows for investments to be put in this annuity. It's a market-based sub-accounts that are instead of an index, now you have market-based sub-accounts, and it normally offers greater growth potential. But guess what? It's going to offer more risk as well. More rate of return possibilities. Of course, now you're going to take on more risk. Values can rise or fall based on market performance. Okay, so this is going to be tied to the market, but still has an annuity structure. So the simple way to think about this is fixed annuities prioritize certainty. Okay, let me say that again. Fixed annuities prioritize certainty. Okay, if that's your goal, a fixed annuity might be a part of your retirement income plan. Secondly, fixed index annuities balance protection and growth potential. So you want a mixture of the two. You're more maybe a moderate aggressive investor. And so you want to balance that protection with that growth. And then the final one we discussed, variable annuities offer the greatest market exposure. And then we're saying as well, that's the greatest market risk as well. So no annuity category is automatically better than the other. Okay. There is no best choice in general. The best choice depends upon your goals. The best choice depends upon your risk tolerance. The best choice depends upon your income needs and overall retirement strategy. So annuities can look very different on paper, which is why, the trade-offs are so important, and all the different things that we've discussed about the differences. If you need that help evaluating your retirement income options, determining the strategies that fit your goals best, this is what we're doing on a daily basis. Give us a call, 301-242-3950. Visit our website at retirementincome4life.com. We will help you walk through different strategies, different goals, 100% free consultation related to how you are approaching annuities. All right. The biggest myths about annuities. Let's separate some of the headlines from the realities, and a few retirement topics create more debate. I would say there's no bigger topic that creates debate than annuities, right? Who you ask, I like them, I don't like them. It's a good tool that's available. No, it's something I want to avoid entirely, right? The truth is usually so much less dramatic, right? This is, it's not really that deep as it seems to be, made out these days. And understanding the facts can help consumers make more informed decisions and avoid these misconceptions that continue to be at the topic of conversation on a daily basis. All right, let's talk about one myth. Annuities are only for wealthy people. Okay, annuities are only for wealthy people, right? Not true. Right, that's a myth. Annuities are used by retirees across a wide range of income levels. Okay. Many people use annuities to supplement Social Security and create additional retirement income. We've been talking about that. And once again, the goal is often income stability, not wealth accumulation. An annuity is going to be looked at like another pension check. Okay. Number two myth is annuities lock up all your money forever. So that's a myth, right? Many annuities offer withdrawal provisions and liquidity features. Okay, withdrawal provisions and liquidity features are normal for most annuities. Contract terms vary. It's making it important to understand surrender periods before purchasing. You got to understand how long you're locked in for. It may be something you never want to move, but it may be something you want to move after a surrender period. Okay, things you must understand before entering into that contract. Different annuity types offer different levels of flexibility. Okay, so you have flexibility. You are not locked in just because you got an annuity. Okay, so myth number 3, guaranteed income means guaranteed growth. It does not. For the most part, your guarantee is that your principal is going to be protected for the most part, unless you're in an annuity such as a potentially a variable annuity, may not have the floor to protect principal. But Guaranteed income doesn't mean guaranteed growth. It just means guaranteed income. Okay, I'm guaranteed to get income, right? The growth might not be there. I'm going to guarantee income, not growth. So some annuities prioritize income protection over investment performance, looking more so for the income to be there forever instead of how well, it's actually growing. Okay, so myth number 4, annuities are too complicated to understand. Okay, no, they're just more complex than others, right? Ask questions, understand them, so that you don't get overwhelmed. That's just where you want to have, conversations to understand what actually is going on with them, but this is not a situation where you can get overwhelmed, but you don't have to. All right, number 5, if I die early, here's another myth. If I die early, the insurance company keeps everything. Big myth. Many annuity contracts include beneficiary provisions, death benefits, just like your insurance policies, and payout options are going to vary depending upon the contract and the income election that you selected. Reviewing that beneficiary information and, the options related to legacy before you enter in the contract, is very, very important. So 15%, only about 15% of private sector workers have access to a traditional defined benefit pension today. So that's 1.5 out of 10. You may need to be thinking about creating your own pension. Okay, 66% Americans say they are concerned about having enough income throughout retirement. Almost 7 out of 10 people don't think they're more concerned about running out of income than they are dying. Okay. 75% of Americans, right? Retirees with protected lifetime income report feeling more financially secure than those relying solely on investments. Okay. So if I polled 75% of Americans, okay, more comfortable knowing that they've got money coming in for life. They're not thinking about the amount of money that's being made in the market. They're thinking about, is that check going to hit my account now that I'm 70 years old or 65 years old, however you are. Okay. So when evaluating, any retirement strategy, you got to ask what the problem, is designed to solve. Okay. What am I solving? What do I want to accomplish? Okay. That answer often matters more than the production of income or growth itself, or even the product itself. Okay. You want to understand that the products and services you have in your portfolio are designed to solve the problems that you want to solve. So retirement planning, I know it's complicated, it's complicated enough without all this misinformation getting in the way. And if you like help with this, evaluating your retirement income options, understanding which strategies may fit your goals. Once again, just give us a call, 301-242-3950. Visit us at our website, retirementincome4life.com. Schedule your free consultation today. All right. One more thing here related to creating your own pension in retirement. Let's dig in here a little bit. Traditional pensions have become increasingly rare, as we've mentioned. Okay. A lot of Americans are creating their own paychecks today. Okay. And they're using annuities a lot of times. Okay. As retirement approaches, the focus often shifts from building wealth to creating reliable income that can support everyday life for the rest of your life. Okay. Why does retirement income matter? Because retirement expenses continue whether the market is up or the market's down. Okay. People are living longer. It's greater pressure to have more retirement savings, right? Longevity is probably in your cards. Okay. Many retirees need income sources beyond Social Security alone. We've already mentioned that it's about 40% on average of what you're used to making. And so you got to create a personal pension a lot of times, right? Traditional pensions, they provide predictable income for life. You may need to create a predictable income for life that you put together on your own. Today, many retirees build their own income streams, of course, through Social Security, savings and investments, and other retirement assets. And some annuities are designed specifically to provide that guaranteed income that can continue for life. Okay, so why does longevity risk matter? Well, a retirement could last another 25 to 30 years. You've been working 30 years and you may have another retirement that lasts 30 years. Okay, you got to fund that. You got to pay for that. Cost of living and inflation will continue to attack fixed income each and every month. You gotta have that in focus. So reliable income strategies can help reduce that uncertainty later in retirement. And so a retirement plan isn't just about growing assets. Okay, it's about creating income that can support your lifestyle no matter what happens in the market. Okay, so keep that in mind as we want to walk through just a few more things by the number we mentioned before. This is just a repeat that, and you may be in this category of 4 million people. You may be about to reach age 65. 4 million Americans every year are reaching that age. 40% of that income in retirement is going to come from Social Security. And 1 in 3 Americans today that make it to 65 have a good chance. And, 1 in 3. So just think about that. Line of 3 people, one person's making it to 90. Okay. If you make it to 65, 1 in 3 have an opportunity to get to the age of 90. So as retirement grows closer for you, okay, spend as much time as you can, pre-retiree, or even if you've already retired, spend a lot of time planning for income, right? Planning, yeah, you want some growth, but you want to make sure you've done all the planning necessary for income, right? A strong retirement strategy addresses income and growth, not just growth. Okay, so every retirement is going to look different. We are here to assist you and help you in evaluating your retirement income plan. Our process is this about you. And, once we understand what direction you want to go in, there are a number of different options where annuities may be something that you need to consider. And once again, they may be something you don't need to consider. All right. So visit our website, retirementincomethe4life.com. Give us a call, 301-242-3950. Schedule a free consultation. We love to work with you. And always, we always recommend you go to our website and download the free Retirement Income for Life Survival Kit. It is absolutely free. Right at our website, Retirement Income, 4life.com. Here are 5 questions you should ask yourself before buying any annuity. Okay, the right questions can lead to much better decisions. And here's 5 that I've just laid out for you before you buy any annuity. So this is a long-term financial decision. Okay, you got to ask the right questions. Every annuity is different. We've talked about different features, different guarantees, different fees. There are different surrender periods and income options. All of this can vary from one contract to another. And the more informed you are as a consumer before making this decision, the more confident you're going to feel about the role any annuity can play within your retirement strategy. So here's question number 1. What problem is this annuity solving? Okay, I'm getting ready to retire. What problem do I need to solve related to, do I want guaranteed income? Am I looking for principal protection? Am I looking for a combination of income and growth, tax deferred growth, legacy planning? Understanding those purposes are going to help you determine which product is a good fit. If you go through these questions, you're going to determine if an annuity is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I need to have peace of mind for guaranteed income for life. On the other hand, you might say, no, this doesn't fit anything related to what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish, the purposes I've determined, for my retirement future. All right. Question number 2. How does the income feature work? How does this work if I'm looking at income for life, guaranteed income? How does that feature work? Okay. Does it begin immediately? Is it sometime in the future where it's deferred? What kind of riders can be added on to provide different features? what factors determine, the future income payments? Are they going to stay the same? Do they have the potential of going up? More questions you can just take off the table to allow you to know that this is a good fit or not. Number 3, what are the costs and trade-offs? Okay. What are the fees associated with this contract? Okay. I need to fully understand, what is this costing me every year? Okay. Is it 1%, 2%, no percent? Well, what is it costing me related to getting into this contract on a yearly basis? All right. Are there optional rider charges? Do I have the option to choose some, but maybe I don't want all of them. Maybe I want one. There's maybe 3 options available, but I only need one. Right. How does this annuity, another thing to ask yourself, balance guarantees, growth potential, and liquidity? Okay, there's 3 features there that you need to determine what is more important to you. Guarantees, how does that blend in with how liquid this contract is, and what's the growth potential on a year by year basis? Now, every benefit typically involves a trade-off, from one another. Maybe because you want a guaranteed income, maybe you have to be in the contract a little longer, or maybe it takes time to build up a few years. You have to defer a year or 2 before you could start taking income. Maybe you could take income immediately. And these are those questions. These are the things you want to walk through, and your goals, your needs, your retirement plan is going to be different than mine. All right. Next question. What happens if I need access to my money? Okay. What if I want all my money? Okay. How long is the surrender period? What are the charges if I took it out early? Are there penalty-free withdrawals available? And what amount is that? Okay. What happens if circumstances change unexpectedly in my life? What are my options? Okay. You have to understand the liquidity provisions, right? This is crucial. This is, very, very important before purchasing any long-term product. Okay. Now, last question of the 5 is, what happens to the contract when I die? Okay. I just started receiving my income and then I pass away. Okay. What happens to the rest of the money there, right? Who's going to receive this remaining value, right? Are there options so that my spouse or my children, or can I donate this? What are the beneficiary options if I was to die unexpectedly, right? And, are there death benefits included? Understanding these details related to that. I'm telling you, all of these questions, these are the top 5 that I believe if you answer these, take these answers and file them into your scenario of comfort, so you're not getting overwhelmed. You're making decisions out of clarity, not out of fear, right? The best annuity question isn't which annuity is best. Let me say that again. The best annuity question isn't which annuity is best, is which annuity is best for you. Okay, why is it better for you than maybe for me? Your goals are different than mine. Your timeline's different than mine. Your financial situation is mine. It's not about the best annuity. It's about the best situation, best annuity in this dialogue for you. So never feel pressured to make these type of decisions. If you're feeling pressure, you need to back off of that situation and get more questions answered, get more consultation, right? This is a decision that shouldn't be made on the spot, right? And without someone fully evaluating your situation, you got to understand this, review this, ask questions until you are absolutely comfortable, right? Annuities, once again, are not a one size fits all. The understanding of the details, they matter a lot, right? And so, as I've been saying, if you want help evaluating if different types of annuities are for you, if you want help understanding, different retirement income options that are related to annuities, which annuities should you consider? We are doing this on a daily basis, so feel free, give us a call at 301-242-3950. We're here to help you with that. As we mentioned before, it's a free consultation, 100% free. You can schedule that on our website, retirement income, 4, life.com. Make some informed decisions, do a thorough evaluation, take the myths off the table, answer all the questions, and then you can look to purchasing an annuity if that still fits you. All right, so let's talk about some market updates. What's going on in the market, what's happening in 2026, and why the big topic today is really talking about guaranteed income. Is really back in the conversation. Okay, what is causing this to be back in the conversation? Okay, a lot of reasons, but a few are, the interest rates where they are, market volatility, people are living longer, and many retirees are taking a fresh look at how to set up their own pensions, how to generate more income in retirement, right? Growth is always going to be important. Okay. It's going to be important always. Okay. But Americans, you are looking for ways to create greater predictability, greater stability. Okay. That retirement plan, yes, we want it to grow, but we need some guarantees in there. We need some strategies that give us peace of mind and stability. And so once again, this is what's been trending here recently. And what we've said before is it's a lot of reasons, but hey, Americans are living longer. They're spending more time in retirement. Okay. These type of risks, have to be taken off the table because people, frankly, we're living longer in our in retirement. And this type of trend and is getting more and more to the forefront because people are living longer. Okay, people want to take some of the risk off the table. These market swings can create a lot of anxiety, for people, especially retirees who are depending upon their savings for income. The traditional pensions are being less and less available for people. And so, this is causing, some major anxiety as I'm looking towards retirement. Okay. So one of the things that we do, as we've mentioned before, okay, our planning is about helping you. Okay. We start with you. We take our time. We want to understand what your goals are, your concerns are, is this a trend that is on your mind, each and every day, and you want to talk to somebody about that. If you want a second opinion because you already have an advisor, that's great too. We can provide that for you. We want to take a deep dive with you into what you may be concerned about each and every day. Okay. Identifying gaps where they are presenting themselves. Okay. What are the gaps that you're dealing with on a daily basis? Okay. You have to take action in this, but most people want to identify the gaps, build a clear personalized strategy before they move. We're sometimes stuck because we really don't know how to do this. And so we want to focus in on that clear strategy for you, focus on income and security, answer every question along the way. And more importantly, let's get a plan on paper, right? It starts with a conversation, right? This is one of the biggest decisions you're going to have to make as you go into retirement. So once again, give us a call, 301-242-3950. Visit our website, retirement income, the number 4, life.com. Our retirement income for life survival kit is there waiting for you to download at any time. And so, feel free if there's anything that you need, let us know and we will be here to help you. All right. And so as we look towards once again, as we're looking at Annuity Awareness Month, and as we are looking to answer a lot of these questions surrounding annuities, as we are helping people really on a weekly basis, we want to help you finally avoid emotional investment and market shifts in this season. Okay. And, a lot of times, discipline often is going to outperform, reaction. Okay. There's a lot of emotions that can be stirred up, on a weekly basis, related to retirement. A lot of people are anxious about this, the volatility, the information around, is my portfolio diversified enough? Have I made the right decisions as we're, moving towards this monumental decision called retirement? Some of you are just starting. How do I even create a retirement plan? I'm in my 40s, right? I'm in my 30s or 50s, and I really need to just put together something on paper, that allows me to take a disciplined look at, things that are going on in the market, things that are going on in my personal life. And I want to make sure that all of these factors, are being addressed. And so a smart tip for you is when you feel like this volatility is being overwhelming, major investment changes, making them immediately is almost always not good. And so you want to review those decisions with a financial advisor, as we've mentioned to you, a number of times. Also some other things to keep in mind is when these emotions are, cluttering your thoughts, sometimes you want to make sure that you, timing can be different in the market, and things can really get challenging as we find ourselves, in the market, trying to make good decisions, trying to move things around in our portfolio, trying to set things up differently for different situations. Once again, is an annuity good? Is annuity bad? We may interrupt our long-term growth strategies sometimes. Our investment behaviors, sometimes we're panicking or chasing high, performance investments, a lot of times. Sometimes we're moving too much money around, and this is, even more so why even professionals struggle with predicting short-term market movements. Okay. So just imagine you're in retirement and you're, stuck to watching the market on a daily basis. So your income, is, you're trying to supplement the income with Social Security and taking money from your 401k or different things like that. You really need a guaranteed income stream, but for whatever reason, you're not comfortable with an annuity or with something else that could provide something for you. And so a lot of times you're out of balance, and, there's just things that are necessary to keep a long-term balance, that allows you to avoid reactionary decisions. And so, these habits help keep investment strategies aligned, with your retirement goals. And even when the market fluctuates, okay, even when there's volatility, okay, you want to avoid making, quick decisions, avoid making rash decisions. We say this to our clients all the time. Don't get emotional about this. Have a plan you can look at. Look at building and designing a plan that's steady throughout all these different market changes and different things that may arise, each and every day. And so once again, as I will continue to say to you, we are here to help. If there's anything that we can do for you on a day-to-day basis, we're here to help you with that. If you are in the DMV area, we are here to assist right here in our local office here in Greenbelt, Maryland. We're right here in Greenbelt. You can call us at 301-242 3590, 242-3590. Don't hesitate to give us a call. Don't hesitate to go to our website and schedule a free consultation as well. We look forward to helping you. So let me just do one more review and just overview of different things that we've talked about today. I want to make sure you do not leave this workshop without a clear picture and a clear path related to annuities. So what have we talked about today? We've talked about, what annuities actually are and what they're not. Okay. We've talked about you may need a pension in your retirement. You may need to create your own pension. Okay. That's going to a lot of times come from an annuity that's connecting you with guaranteed income, right? These are questions, right, that you should be thinking through. But then we listed a lot of different questions for you to ask yourself, a lot of different questions to address so that you have clarity related to what is an annuity and what it's not, right? We've talked about that, it's so many different myths, today about the different annuities, what they are, what they're not, they're for rich people, my money's going to be lost. No, it's not that complicated to understand that there are pros and the only cons. Let me say this to you. The only cons I see is when you didn't create your own personal retirement plan. Now you might have been put into something that you shouldn't have been put in. Okay. Someone sold you on something that you didn't understand. Okay. The consultative approach allows you to understand, hey, you know what? I really do need to create my own personal pension plan. Okay. I've got to use an annuity to do it. Okay. Because, hey, this retirement income and Social Security is not going to be enough for me. Okay. I'm going to need much more money than that 40%, that is in general what you're going to receive. And so I've got to create a personal plan, that addresses, and a lot of times addresses using an annuity so that I am not in a position to where I don't have enough fixed income each and every month. Right. Do I need guaranteed income or do I need flexible income? Right. Do I need, am I gonna, for lack of a better way to put it, am I gonna get hit by a bus at 67 and I just retired at 65 versus I'm probably gonna live to 100? Does longevity risk really matter to you? Okay, that's gonna be a huge factor in building out this plan. With all the Americans reaching, 65, with the different supplemental income piece is not available anymore. The retirement strategies and planning tools that you need understanding with, it's going to look different for you than it's going to look for me. So 301-242-3950 is our phone number. Retirement income, the number 4, life.com is our website. Please schedule a free consultation with us. We are here to help you each and every day along the way. As it relates to, making these decisions. Okay. And some of you are in a position to where, hey, I've put my paperwork in for retirement and I see that my pension plus Social Security, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how many times I have meetings with clients that have retired because they hit an age, but didn't do the numbers related to income. Okay, think about it. Is income more important than retirement or that you reach the age of 65? Ask yourself that question. You got to 65. That was your golden number. Okay, but you're going to live to 95. Okay, and you're now looking at the income that's going to be coming in from retirement, and it's 30-40% lower than what you're used to. You know what that means? More than likely, without a plan, in 8 months or so, 10 months or so, 16 months or so, you're going to be back to work. That's not a dream retirement. That's not retirement income for life. That's a nightmare. Okay. And so once again, you've got to put yourself in a position to where you're not pressured, okay, to make these retirement income decisions on the spot. Okay, you've got to take those questions off the table related to when you die. How do you get access to your money, the costs, all those different features that, are going into annuity. All these people on the, that you read about on a weekly basis that have told you that annuities are bad or, I don't like annuities. Okay, if you can't tell somebody and explain to someone why this is something that you do not like, connected to your risk tolerance, connected to how long you believe you're going to live, connected to the supplemental income that you need, then, hey, I would suggest you don't just say you don't like annuities. Okay. Stop saying that unless you can fully explain why it doesn't fit your guaranteed retirement income plan for life that you want to have. Okay. And so let me remind you once again, we start with you. Okay. We, as a company, we want to take the time to truly understand your goals. Is an annuity good for you? Is an annuity not good for you? And in a lot of cases, your concerns and your retirement lifestyle, as we work toward formulating a plan, you're going to be able to say after the discussion, after talking this through, hey, I need an annuity because it's going to pay for my travel, time, or my family time, or I'm going to use these proceeds to give back to my church, or, I want to make sure that this, I have peace of mind related to this part of my portfolio. Okay. Once again, this is a deep dive into your current plan. Okay. You have to review your investments, accumulation strategies, as you've accumulated in your 401k, as you've accumulated in your 403b, 457, whatever your savings plan or your savings vehicle has been, you've accumulated a lot of money. That strategy for accumulation was what you did while you were working. Once you decide to retire, you need now an asset preservation and income distribution plan, a plan that involves longevity risks, a plan that involves income, a plan that involves taxation. That deep dive is very, very important to making sure you're making, the right decisions. Okay. What kind of income gaps are there? What kind of money needs to be left in the market for growth? Because cost of living and inflation together is tracking over 4%. That means your fixed income after 5 or 10 years, the cost of goods and services, you're going to need a raise to come from somewhere in a lot of cases. In a lot of cases, people need to turn on another stream of income. And in a lot of cases, that's an annuity. That's an annuity that you have put in place to turn on that guaranteed income to match the cost of living and inflation adjustment that you're now experiencing in your 70s, or 80s, right? Your personalized strategy. The jargon might have got you into something that you shouldn't have bought, right? Someone, that you worked with did it. So that's why you did it. Okay. The confusion needs to be taken off the table so that the confidence of why you aren't doing something sets in. Okay. Income and security in retirement is the key. Income, you're not getting up to go to work 40 hours a week when you're retired. Okay. You are hopefully have a schedule that's tied to the money that's coming into your account every single month. Okay. That needs to be secured if it's going to last for another 25, 35 years. Okay. That needs to be a personalized strategy of security to where your money, yes, a portion of it, we want to always have growing that exceeds cost of living and inflation, right? But you also have to take off the table that you don't have any. Think about it. Do you have any reliable income sources that are going to be coming into your account for life? If you have a pension, that's one. If you have Social Security, that's two. If you don't have a pension, all you have is one, Social Security. So ask yourself, do I need to create a reliable income that lasts? That in a lot of times, in a lot of cases, we use annuities to do that. We'll help you understand how to create that. That's what we call our paycheck for life in retirement, a self-directed pension. And once again, it should be no rush with these conversations, no pressure. You should get full clarity and confidence into the next steps you take. You implement as you are excited and confident about your understanding, right? It starts with a simple conversation. This is one of the most important decisions you can make. We are here to help you. You know how to get in touch with us. We look forward to talking to you. 301-242-3950, and always our website, retirement income, the number 4, LIFE.com.